The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know?
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
Ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Yep, it is One Mic with Big Mike. I am, of course, Big Mike. Welcome into a Friday. Getting ready for the weekend. Sunny day. Started off raining here in the ATL, but it ended up being a nice and sunny day. Hope you guys had a good week. Hope you guys got a good weekend planned. I'm being heard right now live on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Also, Spreaker has an app that's available for all your mobile devices, so make sure you go to your app store, download that. If you're one of those Apple users, I'm also live right now. Oh, sorry, not for Apple, but for everybody. I'm live right now on TuneIn. And, of course, go check out my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. I'm there as well. If you guys want to get involved in the show, it's quite easy. You can do that in a couple of different ways. You can either send me a text to 404-902-8104. That's 404-902-8104. Or you can jump inside this live and interactive chat room where you can not only just, send a one-way message, but I'll reply to it. I'll talk about whatever you guys mention in the chat room. You do so by going to Spreaker, Spreaker, or by downloading the app. Sign up for your free Spreaker accounts as well while you're there. And then search for my show, One Mic with Big Mike. When you start listening, you'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on that situation. It'll get you right up inside the live interactive chat room. You can also hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. So we're still here, and don't think I'm joking when I say we as human beings are still here, because your man. Your orange homie in the White House is tripping about these nuclear weapons and threatening folks. And yeah, I told my wife the other day or yesterday, 2017 is probably going to be the last year we all see. So whatever you got planned, whatever you want to do, whatever's on your bucket list, go ahead and start scratching stuff off now, man, because this dude, he is wilding out up there. What else do I want to mention? Oh, my fantasy football league, ladies and gentlemen. And I stress that, ladies and gentlemen, holla at your boy, man, for this fantasy football situation. The One Mic Fantasy Football League. Send me your emails to mike@onemicwithbigmike.com or just go to my website, go to the contact page and send it from there. Put fantasy football in the subject line, and I'll just shoot you the link to the invite. You guys can go ahead and sign up. I think I got like 7 slots left. We're going to draft the final Sunday after the final preseason game. So we'll make sure that everybody who's cut is going to get cut. Basically, everyone who's going to get signed by another team gets signed by another team. Everybody who's injured at that point is well and injured, and you got all the information that you need for your drafting situation. And once we get the draft situation filled up, every week we'll do a hit with hopefully my guy Matt Latofsky from the Sporting News. And he'll give us, some little, some good information and some good fantasy football expertise as we move our way throughout the season, so somebody can win a One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League championship. All right, so here we go. Today's show. Let's also don't remember at the bottom of the hour, I'll take a look back into the history of sports and give you guys some tidbits and whatnot in my daily feature, which I call On This Day. As far as today goes, we got some big news that came down today in the NFL regarding Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliot. So I'll definitely give my thoughts on that. I think this whole situation is marred in Shulbit. It's just marred in stinky dung. You know what I mean? I'll give you guys the update, which seems to be a daily update on the Colin Kaepernick situation. More people are speaking out. One of his NFL brethren is saying he's in the league and he's going to still stand by Colin Kaepernick for let's say for as long as he's in the league. The NBA released their schedule, well, part of the NBA schedule, the big games for next year. So I'll go over that as well. An update to what I was talking about on Wednesday about the schedule being stretched out so that guys would have sort of like this built-in rest. Well, there's been a development that I didn't think your man Adam Silver had the balls to come with, but he's trying. You know what they say, bless his heart. He's trying, but no dice, homie. Some other news going on in the NBA as well. Carmelo still trying to be on the move, whatnot. Your man Zebo suspected of moving packs. We'll talk about it. Kevin Durant saying stay out my damn pocket, and I 100% agree with him. But I do also see the other side of what's going on with him and him taking his hometown discount and all that kind of stuff. So I want to actually give my thoughts on that as well. The NCAA has a new sexual violence policy, because you need one of those. And I do have a poll question going on right now on my Twitter page at One Mike with Big Mike. It's about the Mayweather-McGregor poll, Mayweather-McGregor fight, quote unquote fight. And I just want to know, man, how many of y'all gonna actually like participate in that, like as far as consuming it? Because I have no desire to even see that. I don't even really have a desire to hear about it anymore. Like I just realized the other day that it's actually coming up in like a week or two. Like I thought it was far off. It's like this month in like 2 more weeks. Yeah, I'm good on that whole situation. Like I don't even care how it ends up. Like because if Mayweather gets knocked out or if he loses, like I'm calling fix right now. Like right this minute, I'm calling fix, man. So that's that. Let's get into it. So I mentioned Ezekiel Elliot, Cowboys running back, second-year running back, has been suspended for 6 games after an investigation that spanned over a year now of him allegedly. I'm gonna still say allegedly because the law said he did. The law said they didn't have enough evidence to charge the man. So of him allegedly, not sexually assaulting, but assaulting his ex-girlfriend or someone who she says was his ex. She calls herself his ex-girlfriend. He says basically it was just somebody he was giving the hammer to. You know, so that's always a bad sign when you can't even really define the relationship. It's you're already in murky waters as that goes. Now, the NFL says in this year that they've been investigating this situation, that just happened to wrap up right before the second season. But all right, whatever. That they've done all these interviews with people, and they've got forensic stuff and photographs, and they've interviewed eyewitnesses and came to the finding that my man most likely caused this girl's injury. And I was hearing one of the guys who was on the expert panel for the NFL just before the show started, and his explanation sounded like total crap to me. He was like, well, Mr. Elliott's representation came with their own theories of how the young lady got injured, and none of them were believable. They were like, you know, she drinks heavily, so maybe she bumped into something, or maybe she fell down some stairs, or they was giving them all these different. The way he put it was they were giving all these different scenarios, and it was like, well, none of those things seem plausible. So we came to the conclusion that it must have happened by Mr. Elliott. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, because he don't know how the girl got hurt, it automatically is him. What? That sounds ridiculous as hell. Like she showed up with bruises, and like I don't know how that happened. Now let me preface everything that I'm about to say with this. I don't know. I'm not defending Ezekiel Elliott. I believe if he did something to that girl, if he beat that girl up, he need to be prosecuted. Not just suspended from the league. He need to be prosecuted by the law, because that's illegal. You can't do that. You should go to jail or whatever the sentence is after being prosecuted and convicted for something like that. That is what should happen to you. So I don't know. I'm not defending him or saying this girl is lying. Well, I will at some point say she lied, because there is some sworn statements of her not only lying but trying to get people to lie for her. So we'll get to that here in just a second. But to say that he and his representatives couldn't tell the panel, I guess is what you want to call them, the panel, how this happened to her, how these injuries that they saw in these pictures happened to her, that he must have done it. That's lightweight. Cause I don't understand how you even got on TV and said that. So anyway, here's what the NFL said. They said that the investigation turned up compelling evidence that Elliot was physically violent with ex-girlfriend Tiffany Thompson on multiple occasions. In a statement, the NFL said it interviewed more than a dozen witnesses and consulted with experts. The league said its team of 4 expert advisors, quote, were of the view that there is substantial and persuasive evidence supporting a finding that Elliot engaged in physical violence against Ms. Thompson on multiple occasions during the week of July 16, 2016. I don't like what is the burden of proof for the NFL? I mean, it's not, because it's definitely not, beyond a reasonable doubt. There's hella doubt. Like, they even in the statement, it indicates doubt. There is substantial and persuasive evidence supporting a finding that Elliot engaged in physical violence against Ms. Thompson on multiple occasions. That's not saying that you have evidence that he did it. I don't know. Like, the NFL is just like, that Ray Rice stuff got them so damn shook. And well, I'm not even gonna say that, because the whole policy is crap. And again, we'll get to that here in just a minute. The league investigators examined all available evidence, including photographic and digital evidence, thousands of text messages, and other records of electronic communications. Now, you remember Chris Carter came out with his, like, I got sources, and it says he probably did what Tom Brady did and destroyed some of the evidence that they was trying to get from him. Well, the NFL said that didn't happen, and as you can see right now, as far as what I'm reading, they're saying that it didn't happen either, as far as this council or whatever. So Commissioner Goodell, he sought the views of 4 external advisors. They range in expertise from law enforcement. Sorry, just got an alert from law enforcement, judicial and public service, and other specialized subject areas. This is just weird, man. It's like you know, to steal a phrase from your man Agent Orange, your president. This is kind of like witch honey. You know what I mean? Because I'm of the view that look, man, if the people who are trained investigators said, you know what, and they didn't say there's nothing to see here. They just was like, you know what, something may have happened, but we don't have enough evidence to say that it definitely did. So anyway, with the suspension standing as it currently is, your man's going to be able to come back on Monday, October 23rd. This is after they play the 49ers on October 22nd. Like, that's almost like week 8, dude. That's half of the season. Like, Jerry Jones got to be, like, crapping a brick over this, because it's like, this is 2 years in a row, like 3 years in a row, I guess I should say, because the Tom Brady thing went over the span of 2 years, that this dude, Roger Goodell, has gone after 2 of the big dogs, man. Robert Kraft and now Jerry Jones, 2 of the dudes that make things happen. I mean, Roger Kraft, no, I think Bob Kraft was, and Jerry Jones were both 2 of the dudes that got Roger Goodell the job that he has now, following Paul Tagliabue. And this is the MF and thanks I get. Yeah, man. Golly. So anyway, Ezekiel Elliott's lawyer, obviously he's going to come out with a statement as far as, what he feels the inadequacies of the ruling are. He said the NFL findings, this is a quote, the NFL findings are replete with factual inaccuracies and erroneous conclusions, and it cherry picks so-called evidence to support its conclusion while ignoring other critical evidence. For example, both the Columbus prosecutor's office as well as the NFL investigators expressly concluded and conveyed to our office and others that the accuser was lying about the alleged July 22nd, 2016 incident whereby she accused Mr. Elliott of pulling her out of a car and assaulting her. An allegation that was ultimately undermined by her own friend's affidavit, which stated that no such assault occurred. The affidavit also outlined the accuser's plan to orchestrate the plan to police in order to corroborate her false allegation of assault. In addition, the NFL's own medical experts concluded that many of her injuries predated the week in question and likely occurred during a period of time when Mr. Elliott was not in contact with the accuser. During the upcoming weeks and through the appeal, a slew of additional credible and controverting evidence will come to light. That's an SAT word right there. I guess that means better evidence if I'm reading it in context properly. Now, you ask if you guys have forgotten, because I mentioned this a couple of times, that I thought I remembered that at some point there was a statement given of this chick actually lying, and they had text messages of her lying or trying to get people to lie for her and talk about how she was going to ruin his life. So I went and looked for it today, and I found it. And this is from, I don't know, when is this from? This is from right before the draft last year or 2 drafts ago. The Columbus City Attorney's Office cited conflicting and inconsistent information across all incidents in a release about the lack of charges, meaning they didn't charge Ezekiel Elliot. A sworn statement by, what's his name, Aaron Mason, a witness and apparent friend of the accuser, Tiffany Thompson, reveals that Thompson asked her to lie about the events on July 22nd that led to the domestic violence accusations. So the whole thing is stemmed from a lie. What the hell was what was the league investigating? So the statement goes as such. The parts of the statement goes as such. At approximately 2 a.m. on July 22nd, 2016, I exited the social room with Tiffany to walk to our vehicle, and Tiffany was approached by another female who proceeded to physically assault Tiffany by slapping Tiffany in the face and pulling her hair. A fight ensued, and approximately a few minutes before... What? A fight ensued for approximately a few minutes before it was broken up. Sorry. I was able to help break up the fight by grabbing Tiffany's waist to help separate her from the other female. The two then went to Elliot's apartment when Thompson saw him in a car with another female. She began screaming at the woman. Afterwards, she threatened to ruin Elliot's football career. Real talk. After Ezekiel and his friends were inside the carriage house, I waited outside with Tiffany, and Tiffany told me she was calling the police. While the police were questioning Tiffany, Tiffany told me via text message to tell the police that Ezekiel pulled her out of the vehicle and assaulted her, which is untrue. At what point does the credibility of an alleged victim go down the tubes? You know what I mean? Like, not only did she try to master plan a way to ruin this dude's career before it even started, because he wasn't even drafted at the time. Or wait a minute, Wait a minute. Is this July 2016? So I guess he was drafted. He just got drafted 2 months prior to this, in April or May, or a month prior, 2 months prior in June. What, June is a month, May, whatever. You get what I'm saying. And then she got her homegirl. She tried to put her homegirl on the hook. Like, look, while she's talking to the police, while she's talking to them, she's texting old girl like, look, man, when they ask you, just tell them that your man pulled me out the car and drugged me. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know what this dude did or didn't do to this girl. But what I do know is that the law says nothing to see here, or at least nothing worth prosecuting over. And then for the NFL to come back with this bull crap, 6-game suspension. And I'm calling it bull crap for a reason, man, because since the Ray Rice situation, they've tried to be on some old, this is what it's, remember after Ray Rice, it was like, now for every domestic violence situation after this, it's 6 games. That's what it is. And that's what we say it is. Well, not quite. I got a list here of multiple incidents, multiple actual arrests and charges being made upon people. No charges were given to, or I don't know how you phrase that, but there were no charges placed on Ezekiel Elliot. But since Ray Rice, there have been plenty of incidents. And this whole 6-game situation has seemed to slip the mind of the NFL, the collective mind of the NFL. In August 2014, that's when everything went down with Ray Rice. And they was like, no, well, 1 game, 2 games is not enough. Okay, now 4. And people was like, what, 4 games? And then they came back and was like, okay, and we'll do 6 now. 6, right? But just 3 days after that, Quincy Enunwa, the kid that just messed his back up, the wide receiver for the Jets, he was arrested and charged with simple assault when police said Enunwa pulled a woman off a bed, hurting her head and finger. After the NFL's investigation, he was suspended for 4 games. I went to public school, but I know 4 ain't the same thing as 6. Then my favorite one, Josh Brown, the kicker for the Giants. Remember him? The guy that was awarded a contract extension for his exemplary work on his pregnant wife, kicking her ass in the stomach, and then took notes, kept a notebook on his ass beatings that he gave his old lady. Well, Brown was suspended for 1 game. That's definitely not 6. I know that. That's a lot less than 6. Then after the backlash, he still wasn't suspended. He was just placed on the commissioner's exempt list, which allowed people just not to sign him and not mess with him, and just like, okay, go away. We don't want to talk about this anymore. And he just kind of disappeared into the ether. Right? A couple more here. Packers tight end Andrew Corliss was accused of firing a gun in the air during an argument with a woman. He was suspended for 2 games. Still not 6. Junior Gillette arrested and charged with misdemeanor simple battery and domestic violence. 2 games as well. This is all after 6 games is the minimum. Or more. That's what they said, 6 or more. And they talked about like mitigating circumstances and whatever the hell that means. Less than a month after the NFL announced its mandatory 6-game suspension, you remember Jonathan Dwyer, former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket? He was arrested for headbutting. That's the move right there. Like, I don't understand how you do that to anybody, much less a woman. Like, you use your head to hurt somebody else. Anyway, he headbutted this woman, broke her nose. He was suspended for 3 games. He just never played again because he got cut after that. Wasn't good enough. Joseph Randall had police called on him for domestic violence with a weapon after an incident with the mother of his son. I think Joseph Randall about to go to jail for something else too, though. Anyway, he was suspended for 4 games. If you noticed, at no point in all those incidents have I mentioned 6 games. I haven't mentioned 6 games until now. And the likelihood that Ezekiel Elliott's situation stays at 6, people are saying, the experts and the pundits are saying that it's not going to stay that way. He has 3 days to appeal whatever's going on with that situation. And then they'll, I guess, be prepared to go to court over it and all these kind of things. His dad already said, like, look, it's about to be on. Like, if you think you're finna take my son off the field based on the word of somebody else. And then again, from what I heard just before the show started, the fact that he doesn't know, or his representatives are just, they threw out different theories on how the girl might have gotten hurt, but they don't know how it happened. And for that reason, it must mean that he did it. That's some gumshoe. That's some, that's some real deep investigating. Like, where they teach that technique at? Like, if you don't know how the person died, I can only assume you killed him. That's the only plausible option. You don't know. I don't know. You must have killed him. God, man. If only the regular world worked like that. I mean, I would venture to say at some point it does, but in the NFL, it's like, I don't think anybody is. I don't know, because I don't want to speak for people. Somebody today said something to me that was real idiotic. It was like, he knew better than to put himself in that position. I was like, what position? Dating the girl? Because inevitably, that's what we're talking about. Like, he was dating this girl or banging her or whatever it was, and the next thing you know, he's on some domestic violence stuff. And then, there was the situation where he was in the weed shop legally. He was in Colorado, so the weed place is legal. There was other thing where he pulled a girl's breasticle out on that float that he was on, that parade thing. He pulled that girl's breasticle out, and that's no good, especially when you in the situation that he was already in under investigation. But when you start saying that you're not taking any of that other stuff into account, okay, it just doesn't really seem like there's a lot there. And this report, by the way, on this incident, this report on this year-long investigation is 140 pages long. Guess who's not going to read 140 pages of an investigation involving Ezekiel Elliott's alleged not sexual assault, but assault on his ex-jump-off/girlfriend. This guy. Not happening. I just know the whole thing just felt real skeevy to me. That, first of all, how would it take a year for that to happen? You know what I mean? How would it take over a year for y'all to get to the bottom of this? And the prosecutors was like, yeah, maybe, but not really. So, okay. And then the girl lied too. And it's, you talk about eyewitnesses, her friend, supposedly, well, I guess maybe not no more. Her friend was like, nah, old girl was lying, and she tried to get me to lie right in front of the police. So that's also a thing. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to do On This Day, get ready to shut it down for the weekend. Come back and do it all again on Monday. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show, heard live right now on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, tune in, and OneMicWithBigMike.com. Make sure you guys holler at me via the text 404-902-8104 or jump on inside my live and interactive chat room. It's here via Spreaker. If you're listening via Spreaker, you'll see a little thought bubble icon sitting right there on the streaming player. Just click on that. You'll be right up in the building. I'll be back in about a minute and a half.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic. Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
with Big Mike.
Friday. We made it, man. We made it to the end of the week. Getting ready for the weekend, I should say. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Welcome back. If you miss any portion of the show or any of the show, if you miss any of the shows previous to today, you can catch them all on demand on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, onemicwithbigmike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Once again, no Facebook live stream today for whatever reason, man. The camera just don't want to act right when I get ready to do the show. I tested it last night, tested everything to make sure everything was good. Or wait a minute, it wasn't last night. It was actually Wednesday after the show I tested it, try to make sure it was working. And it was. But then today, when I tried to hook it up and get ready to rock and roll, no dice. So over the weekend, I'll try to get that situation straightened out for you guys who like to be voyeurs and like to watch and do all that kind of stuff. I'll try to get that straight for you. Speaking of the weekend, got some news for you guys who like to participate in the spirit game, not church, but the alcoholic spirits. Apparently, alcoholism has risen 49% in a decade, and now more than 1 in 8 Americans are alcoholics. 2 large surveys carried out in 2001, 2002, and 2012 and 13 of approximately 79,000 Americans 18 years and older discovered that alcoholism and alcohol use disorders have risen 49.4% from 2002 to 2013. Alcoholism was at 8.5% in 2001, 2002, and was up to 12.7% about a decade later. That means more than 1 in 8 of you bastards are suffering from alcoholism. Y'all gotta be all right, man. Y'all gotta take care of yourself, man. High risk drinking went up by almost 30%. High risk drinking, we're talking about those who consume 5 drinks per occasion for men and 4 for women, and do this on a weekly basis. You know who you are, too, you damn lushes. 29.6 million Americans are putting their health at risk due to their drinking habits. The greatest rise in alcoholism in Americans came from women, older women, and ethnic minorities. Yeah, that's like that's like the Bruz, that's like, you know, the native homies, that's like the Mexicans, the Hispanics. Yeah, man, y'all out here getting it in. All right, well, you know, all I can say is take care of yourself, man. Now let's take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
All right, for your final edition of On This Day for this week, and maybe forever, depending on what happens with your man, with Lil' Kim and Agent Orange, depending on what happens with those dudes, this might be the final one forever and ever. And also, if I happen to hit this damn Mega Millions of this Powerball, yeah, I'm out of here like last year, son. Yeah, no notice given. I'm gone. On this day in 1907, St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Ed Carger pitches a perfect game versus the Boston Braves in 7 innings. I guess they only played 7 back then in 1907. On this day in 1919, the Green Bay Packers Football Club is founded. On this day in 1929, what was his name? Herbert Babe Ruth becomes the first in Major League Baseball to hit 500 home runs. On this day in 1951, the first colored baseball game, not to be confused with the first colored baseball game, the first baseball game televised in color took place between the Boston Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers. It was telecast on WCBS, New York City. On this day in 1984, Carl Lewis, he duplicates Jesse Owens' 1936 feat. He wins 4 Olympic track golds. On this day, finally, in 2008, Christy Coventry of Zimbabwe. I wonder if this is a black woman. Her name's Christy Coventry, and she's from Zimbabwe. Here's the reason I'm asking. Because she broke the world record in the semifinals of the women's 100-meter backstroke. You thought I was going to say something about running. No. Swimming. At 58.77 seconds at the Summer Olympics in Beijing, China. Shout out to her, man. I mean, I'm assuming, because I didn't look it up, I'm assuming this is a black woman from Zimbabwe. Shout out to the racist white people who always thought that black people couldn't swim. And shout out to Simone Biles as well, man. Anyway, that is your Friday edition of On This Day here on the One Mike with Big Mike show. Couple more things, man, on this whole Ezekiel Elliott situation, because it just reeks of power hungry. You know what I mean? If you see the artwork to the show, I got like the picture of like Kunta Kinte. I photoshopped Ezekiel Elliott's picture or face on Kunta Kinte and Roger Goodell's face on the Massa, because it's almost like let me put these cats in their place. You know, and doing it so heavy-handedly. And I'm not saying it's heavy-handedly for sexual abuse, or not sexual, for domestic violence. I said what I said earlier. Like, if it happened, he need to be prosecuted by the law. I mean, if he beat this girl up, he need to be prosecuted by the law. But if the law says, I mean, there's nothing to see here. You know, this girl she's a liar, per her friend. She's a liar. She tried to concoct a scheme in order to ruin this dude's career, as her friend put it. Yeah, with that being said, I don't know how then they said they had eyewitnesses. Eyewitnesses to what? People had eyewitnesses of him putting his hands on her? Like, I need more details. And maybe, you know what? I said I wasn't going to read this 140-page thing. And I'm still not. Now I think about it, I'm still not. Because I'm going to have to figure, if these things did exist, as far as someone seeing him put his hands on this woman and beat her up, like, that would have been all over ESPN. You know what I mean? They would have led with that. That, you know, they had people who saw him do these things. Multiple people saw him do these things. Not just multiple people who saw her with bruises on her. Like, that's 2 different things. I don't know, man. This Roger Goodell situation, this is why, man, a couple years ago, if you guys remember this, and I can't remember who led the charge. I remember Arthur Blank talked about it. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, talked about limiting the power of Roger Goodell, because now Ezekiel Elliott's going to appeal, but he's going to appeal to Roger Goodell, the dude who handed down the sentence. Like, what kind of damn sense does that even make? I can only assume maybe Jerry Jones was behind it as well. I know Bob Kraft was behind it. He lost his damn quarterback last year for 4 games. Now, it didn't matter at the end of the day. You know, everybody got smart during the appeal process. Tom Brady moved around money so that when the suspension hit, he would only lose like a couple dollars. I'm saying that figuratively, but he wouldn't lose as much money as he would have been set to lose had the suspension kicked in at the time it was supposed to be. As we all know, Falcons fans, you know better than most, they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, I mean, things kind of turned out well. But this is a different ballgame, man. We talking about this dude being suspended for 6 games. And then, you know, it's going to take time for him to come back. He's going to be back like around week 8, man, if the suspension holds up as is. It just feels like foul pool to me, man. It just feels like bad pool to me. And I guess in the NFL, it is what it is. It's not. I'll talk about a little bit later on how the NBA players, this stuff don't happen. They got them owners. They got the league. They got them by the balls, man. In the NBA, around here, around the NFL, please, boy, they got these cats stepping and fetching the best they can. Speaking of trying to get cats to step and fetch. So the Colin Kaepernick thing is actually picking up steam. Seems like, more and more celebrities are speaking out. Chuck D today was like, yeah, got to boycott the NFL. Got to do that. And you know what I love so much about y'all? It's my people, black folks. Y'all know you full of crap. You know you full of it. With this whole, I'm not watching no more football. I'm not participating in any NFL situations until Colin Kaepernick signs. Not realizing or not taking into account the reality that he may never. So what you done for good? No more football for you? Come on, man. The NFL knows better than that. The one thing about NFL owners that if you haven't been paying attention over the years and decades, they're a patient bunch of rich white men. And they are the way they are because of the popularity of their sport. Meaning, they'll just wait you out and then pass the savings back on to you. Not the savings, though. The opposite. Whatever the opposite of the savings are, they're going to pass them on to you. So when the players hold out and they have to miss games, well, your hot dog won't be $4 anymore. It'll be $4.50. Your season tickets won't be $300 no more. They'll be $350. They're going to get their money back every time. So regardless of you saying I'm not going to watch football, they understand what that means. Even if you do it, I don't believe half y'all that say you're going to do it are going to do it. But even if you do it, guess what? You're only going to do it for a certain amount of time before it's like, you know what? Yeah. You know what I mean? All my friends are talking about it and, my team is doing well or my team sucks. Either one. I got to figure something else out. So now black folks are trying to piecemeal or they're trying to put together these little hedging of their bets. Like, you know what we ought to do? Not boycott the league, boycott their sponsors. That'll get their attention. How you gonna do that if you watching the games? You going to games? You can't. You know what I mean? 'Cause everywhere across every stadium, sponsors are there. The commercials gonna still run. What you gonna do? Just cut the TV off during the commercials? Come on, man. It's a non-starter. This whole protest thing outside the league office, it's a non-starter. Because at the end of the day, what you're talking about is you're calling yourself going to pressure private entities and private businesses into employing someone who they don't want to employ. That's what it ends up boiling down to. Find me a way that's possible. I don't think it is. And the other thing too is it's like that the concept of not negotiating with terrorists. Like the reason people say that about not negotiating with terrorists is not to be, well, until this guy that's up in there now. But most of the time it's because you don't want to set a precedent. You know what I mean? Like somebody now, because after you do that, somebody's favorite player gets cut. And now you got to deal with protesters because the dude got cut for whatever reason, even if it's just because he wasn't good anymore. I can attest to being here in Atlanta when Roddy White had to kick the curb, and people was like, "Oh man, it's politics, and Kyle Shanahan don't like him, and this and that, the other." Well, nobody liked him then, because Roddy ain't got no calls. Roddy ain't worked nowhere. Anquan Bolden is back in the league again with the Buffalo Bills, to the point where the Buffalo Bills was like, "You know who can leave? Sammy Watkins, our first round draft pick. You can go ahead and bounce." They traded his ass to not to the Chargers, to the Rams. And it was the point I made to people here when all that Roddy White stuff happened. I was like, we'll find, just everybody be calm, because everybody was like, he's going to end up in Tampa Bay with Dirk Cutter. He's going to end up here. He's going to end up there. And I was like, calm down. The league will let you know. Like, if Roddy's done, the league will let Roddy and everyone else know. And the league it spoke loud and clear. There were no tryouts. There were no workouts. Roddy just had to disappear and remain a Falcon for life, which ain't a bad deal. I said it before. Roddy won. Kid out of UAB, played, 10, 12 years in the league, made plenty of money. Shout out to Roddy White, man. I mean, no, I didn't feel like anyone should shed a tear for him. And now you got guys like Mohamed Sanu, played well last night in the preseason game. By the way, more preseason games on deck today. I'm watching right now. While I'm talking to y'all, the Giants and the Steelers. And I'll talk about some of the stuff that happened last night as well with these rookies. And there were some comments made and things of that nature. Speaking of comments, the undefeated hit the streets, and they wanted to talk to some people about Colin Kaepernick to find out, what exactly the thought process was as far as boycotting the NFL, about if people thought he was getting a raw deal. Actually, they talked to black people, they talked to white people. There was one Hispanic kid where he looked Hispanic or whatnot. And they was in D.C. too, like the blackest city in America. Only seconded, I guess, by Atlanta. So they was in D.C. asking people, you know, how they felt about the Colin Kaepernick situation. I wanted y'all to hear this. It's about 2 minutes long, so just bear with me.
How's it going? With ESPN, the Colin Kaepernick situation, do you think he's being blackballed by the league?
He's being discriminated against, you know, for what he was doing last year, whether you agree with it or not.
When you see Jay Cutler, who's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, gets $10 million for 1 year, and he just come off the booth because he retired because the Bears didn't want him no more. And Kaepernick led the team to the Super Bowl and led the team to a championship, and here this man can't get a job. No, it's collusion.
I think a lot of it's with his protest. I think he has the ability.
When he did get in and the stats were kind of inflated because he had to throw. So from that perspective, I look at him as a marginal backup quarterback. He's not a starting quarterback.
Some of these other guys that they've got playing, you know, aren't as good as haven't, you know, shown anything.
Some people are considering boycotting games next year, as in like not watching them on TV. Is that something you'd be willing to do, or is that a little too far?
Well, that might be going a little too far.
No, I mean, they still get paid regardless.
Damn right.
I mean,
I wouldn't necessarily consider boycotting this year. Like I said, maybe if it was more personal to my team, maybe a Ravens fan, I would be boycotting this year for sure.
Would you sign Colin Kaepernick?
I have to say from a business perspective, no. And I know brothers and sisters looking at me like I'm crazy, but from a business perspective, that's going to kill your business. Because anything anti-American in this time and time is not conducive to having a productive business.
He took a simple knee. You know, from the time we were kids, we take a strong knee in football. That man took a strong knee, is still respectful. He's just asking for a conversation, you know?
If you're not willing to boycott a game, how far are you going to support Kaepernick?
Start spending money with the NFL.
I know a lot of them brothers is with him, but they afraid of their contracts and their salaries, and they might get blackballed too. But I know a lot of them they really pulling with him for real, because I'm pulling with them. So go Kaepernick, I'm with you.
Damn right, go Kaepernick. I'm with you, but I gotta watch my football, man. That's what all y'all are really saying. And like, that dude ain't asked y'all to do that, man. He didn't ask nobody to boycott or anything like that. He hadn't asked anybody for anything, and I think that's awesome. I mean, I mentioned on Wednesday, you guys can go to his website. I think it's iknowmyrights.com, or you just type in I Know My Rights. Colin Kaepernick, I Know My Rights. Just Google that. You can donate. I gave a couple dollars a couple months ago or whatnot because when I was going to buy a T-shirt, but the T-shirts are like, man, hi, man. Like the I Know My Rights T-shirts, they're like $50. And I was like, all right, man, I ain't going to like drop 50 on a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, first of all, I don't even know that I do know my rights. First of all, so that's false advertising. Second of all, I was like, let me just drop a little couple bucks in here real quick, a quick 10 spot in the bucket, because my man was taking food to Africa or whatnot. So I was like, let me just do what I can, right now. I can't drop 50 on the T-shirt right now, and I don't remember if it was 50. It might have been like 40 or something like that, but like it's a T-shirt still. You know what I mean? But with that being said, like you heard what the player said at the end of the piece there, he said that he feels like a lot of these cats want to stand with Colin Kaepernick, but they're afraid, and that is a byproduct of the league that they play in. The contract's not being guaranteed. Your spot definitely not being guaranteed, especially now. I don't know if you guys realize this. I just heard this today that the NFL has gone to just one cut. There is one cut in the preseason now. So all these guys will presumably have ample opportunity to make these teams and take over for guys who get injured and things of that nature, because the only cut is going to come after the final preseason game. And you have to go from whatever it is now, 100 or 90, whatever it is now, all the way down to your 53-man roster. That simple. Somebody just threw a pick in this damn Giants Ravens game. So yeah, the pressure of someone always being on your heels in the NFL. That's the reason these guys play as hurt as they do. These guys get hyped up or jacked up on these pills to keep themselves on the field. That's why guys lie about concussions and all these things, because there's always one of the mantras is you're always one play away from either having a starting job or from having your starting job taken. But one guy, Malcolm, I was gonna call that dude Malcolm Mitchell, not him, not the wide receiver, Malcolm Jenkins. the kid from the safety from the Philadelphia Eagles, he says that he's going to continue in his form of the protest. I'm still of the opinion that when you water it down, it means less, because you're still appeasing the people who have the stupid notions that it's about a flag or it's about the troops or about the national anthem. You're still appeasing those people. You know what I mean? When clearly statements were made, very clear, very articulate statements were made that no, it is not about those things. It is about police who are seemingly allowed to kill black people because they're scared. Because he's black, so he might have had a gun. So I killed him. Of course, that's what you expect me to do. And then they go home. They even if they get indicted, they end up at the crib following the trial anyway, and either back at work or back somewhere else at work or whatnot. This is what all first the sitting was about. I wasn't even cool with the kneeling thing. If you go back to my show around that time, I was like, nope, I'm not giving you nothing, because they didn't give him nothing but grief and hard times. And then even after he took the step to go from just sitting his ass on the bench to kneeling alongside his teammates, that still wasn't good enough. So then other cats was like linking arms. The Seahawks was linking arms, and then guys like Malcolm Mitchell was raising their fist and all that. No, Malcolm Mitchell, I did it again. Malcolm Jenkins them was raising fists. No, dude. Because once you start giving, people gonna expect you to continue to give in to their foolish and stupid way of thinking. They feel like they still won. I see your black ass standing up. You can do whatever you want to with your fist and all that kind of stuff, but you standing, ain't you, boy? Damn that, dude! I'd have sat my ass like Indian style. Can you say that still? I heard somewhere that you can't say that anymore. They don't say that in school anymore. Like, they don't tell like the kindergartners, come on everybody, sit down, sit Indian style, because apparently that's offensive. Ridiculousness. Anyway, so Malcolm Jenkins put out a quote, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. It's not really that long, but I think I didn't really like break it up or piece it up, because I want you guys to get every last word of what he's saying. Last season, I raised my fist as a sign of solidarity to support people, especially people of color, who were and still unjustly losing their lives at the hands of officers with little to no consequence. After spending time with police officers on ride-alongs, meeting with politicians on the state and federal level, and grassroots organizations fighting for human rights, it's clear that our criminal justice system is still crippling communities of color through mass incarceration. The quote goes on to say, with a new call for a war on crime and drugs, the disproportionate oppression of poor communities and communities of color will continue unless legislative efforts and community engagement are made a priority. I've seen signs of life with regards to bipartisan support for criminal justice reform, but the support does not reflect the necessary urgency for real reform. This must be made a priority. As the blowback against those who stand up for what is right thickens, I feel it is necessary to push forward with a relentless determination. I want to send a message that we will not easily be moved or deterred from fighting for justice. There are many players across the league who have joined me in working toward new legislation and reestablishing trust and opportunities in our communities, and you can expect to see much more of that. I want to thank the fans across the country who have supported me in this effort to fight for equality and justice. I want to thank those that have dedicated their lives to this fight, and I know that it's not easy, and I want to challenge those who stay silent to be courageous and use your platforms to become a part of the solution. No doubt. Like the statement is right on, man. I'm still, the whole raising of the fist thing is like, I understand it. I understand where it comes from. I understand where it derives from. But what I also feel as though it's kind of a bastardization of what the actual protest is. I feel like the protest in and of itself was designed to be jarring. And I think most effective protests they make the other side comfortable. Like, once you start worrying about the comfort level of the idiots who are saying, oh, if you don't stand, you're un-American. Oh, if you don't stand, you hate the troops. If you don't stand, go back to Africa. Those people, you start appeasing those people, I think it waters down your message. You know, those people need to be made to feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like when white people start feeling uncomfortable, like stuff starts happening. When white people start feeling like, you know what, you can't own black people anymore. They started a war. You know what I mean? When Jim Crow was happening, these white folks started sicking dogs and water hoses on people. This is what the history of this country is. And I can only imagine what would have happened if guys like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, like people felt like Martin Luther King was soft because he wasn't Malcolm, because he wasn't standing at the window with the AK, or he wasn't on some by any means necessary. But like the courage that it took to do some of those things, like walk across that bridge in Selma, knowing that you was gonna get your ass kicked, like that stuff that happened to them, it wasn't a surprise. It was expected. And the reason it was expected because they wanted people across the world to see how this quote unquote great country of America treated its minorities. So they knew they was going to get their ass whooped. People was going to get billet clubbed and rocked and fire hosed and all these things, man. And then the uncomfortable, the way they were made to feel uncomfortable was because they were embarrassed by the rest of the world. And whoever the president was, Lyndon B. Johnson, or whoever it was at the time, I'm not a historian on that kind of level. But then, you know, the Voting Rights Act, then it became a priority then. After people across the world saw, and then it was at a time where the news cycle wasn't as quick as it is now. Where you got this orange bastard tweeting every morning something stupid. Nah, it was slow. So the same thing that hit the news that day was probably still on the news 2 weeks from then, still showing images of bloody black people and policemen just beating the hell out of them because they was walking. So all they was doing was walking across the bridge. So fast forward now to 2017, I think things are made too easy for let's call it the other side of issues. The people who want to hide their racism, their lack of empathy for black lives and the lack of understanding for the plight of black people as it relates to law enforcement in this country. They'd rather hide their racism behind fake patriotism. You don't give a damn about these damn troops. You know how I know? Because what is it? Every 20 minutes, a former service person either attempts or commits suicide. I don't see y'all doing nothing about that. Just because you stand your dumb ass up because the public announcement, the public announcement address said, please rise and take your hats off. You think that's the end? That's the end all be all? There's people coming home from war suffering. You got your man up here in the White House. Everything out of his mouth for the last couple of days has been like, yep, we're going to send troops in today. Just out the blue. I don't know if y'all saw this. Out the blue. Homie just hollered out, we're going to send troops to Venezuela. And I'm like, come on, B. Like, this is like, come on, these are real people. These are people's sons and husbands and daughters and wives that you just sending them anywhere in harm's way. Now, I get the whole point about them volunteering or whatnot, but I guarantee they ain't volunteer for no to be serving no madman everywhere that he feel like you just go and send guns and bombs. I'm going to get off that, though. Shout out to Malcolm Jenkins. You know what I mean? I don't want to like poo-poo on his whole situation when it comes to the way he's set to, to protest what's going on. I'm not going to totally poo-poo on it, but I just feel like it is what I said earlier. It's a bastardization of how things start. And that goes for Colin Kaepernick either. I think that may have been the one misstep in my point of view. I think everything else he's done has been perfectly in step, but I think meeting with that white boy and then saying, okay, I'll come off of me sitting and I'll take a knee with my teammates, because as we saw subsequently, it still wasn't good enough. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. We come to the end of the first hour of the show. I'm here live, man. Spreaker.com, SPREAKER.com. Appreciate everyone who's checking in and listening on the Facebook. Make sure you guys know that you can holler at me. Also, if you got any thoughts, comments, you can text me at 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live and interactive chat room here on Spreaker. You'll see a little thought bubble icon there on the streaming player. Just click on that. It'll get you up in the chat room where you guys can holler at me and I can holler at you and so forth and so on. Also, I'm on social media at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE at One Mic with Big Mike. I'm going to come back. I got a couple of other things I want to get off my chest as far as the NCAA. I want to talk about this NBA schedule. NBA is right around the corner, man. I'm kind of excited about it, man. We'll see what's going to happen with Carmelo in that situation. But even still, the way things stand right now, I may be more excited for the first time, not ever, but since I was a kid, more excited about the start of the new NBA season than I am for the NFL season. That seems weird, but yeah, that might in fact be a thing. But we'll talk about it on the other side of a quick, about 2-minute break. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Military life is rewarding, but it isn't always easy.
Managing the stress can affect even the strongest warrior.
But I will stay mission ready.
I will
keep my mind and body fit.
Talk to my chaplain.
Be there to listen.
I will.
Know the signs.
Seek care early.
Talk to my healthcare provider. Be there to help, listen, and get you through this.
I will motivate others.
Strive for progress, not perfection.
I will be there for my buddies, no matter what.
Be there for our veterans, no matter what.
And I've got your back too.
I will keep our family safe while you're away.
I will think of you every night.
We're in this together.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this. Take the first step.
There's no better time than now.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different. One Mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Quitting time, end of the week. It's Friday, man. Getting ready for the weekend. I'm gonna get out there. The old lady bought a little mini smoker. Not really a mini smoker. It's called a bullet smoker. So that I don't have to crank up the big boy. I got like this big, I don't know, like 5-foot joint where I could put a bunch of meat on, smoke my meat or whatever. But she bought a little one, so I don't got to go through all that. So I'm gonna test that joint out for the first time tomorrow. Put a little pork butt on there. You know what I mean? Get some pulled pork action jumping off for the weekend. Just a little something. Nothing too big. I might throw some wings on there as well. I don't know yet. So that's my plans for the weekend. Don't forget, man, the One Mic with Big Mike show, Fantasy Football League, is going to be popping again this year. Just send me an email if you guys want to participate in it. Guys and girls, you want to participate in it, send me an email to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line. Also, you can do so via my website. Go to the contact page. You can send the email from there as well. Same deal. I'll put fantasy football in the contact in the what is it called, subject line, and I'll just send you the link to the league, and you can sign right on up. 404-902-8104 is my text line. Also, make sure you jump inside the live interactive chat room if you want to holler at me and get in on some of these conversations. A couple other things. The NFL preseason going on right now. Got some games going on tonight. Some stuff happened on last night. Falcons played last night. Did they win? I got the scores here, I guess. Panthers played on Thursday or Wednesday. They beat the Texans 27-17. Does anyone care about the final score of preseason games? Like I look at it like kind of like porn, right? It's like, who cares? Who gets to the end of the porn? Anybody? Well, maybe like Terry Crews. Terry Crews said he was so addicted to porn that he would start watching like in the morning, and the next thing you know, it would be like the next morning. Like, damn, dude, like how? Like, give your meat some rest, my man. Like that is the actual definition of beating it, because that's punishing yourself all day. Like, what are you trying to garner from that? A porn addiction had this dude up all day and night watching porn. Like, my man, like that seems weird, but he's gotten help for it now, and he's got a flourishing acting career. So if that was the thing holding my man Damon back, good God. The Vikings beat the Bills, the Dolphins. Oh, they beat the Falcons. That happened. The Ravens beat the Redskins. The Jaguars beat the Patriots. I saw some of these games today. The Browns, the kid out of Notre Dame, Deshaun Kaiser, apparently played pretty well last night. Here's what I want to say about him. The kid in Chicago, Trubisky, about Deshaun Watson. Calm the hell down. You know, this is the same thing you cats was doing a couple months ago with the summer league situation, going all crazy because you hadn't had no basketball in a while. Understand what's happening. Most of these cats, they're playing against real simplistic schemes. No one's game planning. People just running their own stuff, getting better at running their stuff. Second of all, you know, in the case of like Deshaun Watson, these guys are in there with like second teamers and sometimes guys who are going to be, you know, substitute teaching next week. Or not next week, but by the end of the month, be substitute teaching. You got to calm down, man, and understand that the league is what it is. I don't care what Leonard Fournette said. He's another one. I saw Christian McCaffrey do some pretty good things while I was on the air yesterday. Leonard Fournette, I think, what did he do? 9 for 31. And then had some pretty, some interesting comments that kind of just, they show youth and ignorance. You know what I mean? For the most part. I don't think it's much to do about anything. You know, he's a big boy. He can handle himself. But what he ended up talking about, 31 yards and a touchdown. He says, quote, "It's a lot slower than I really thought. That's how I've been since I first got into the NFL. A lot of people were like, it's going to be fast. But by me playing in the SEC, that kind of helped me a lot." Yeah, see, from everything that I've heard guys talk about, they talk about like the difference in the speed. Let's call it the speed of the game. Now, I'll kind of get a little bit more into that here in just a second. Yeah, in the preseason, there's a preseason speed. Then you have your regular season speed, and then you have your playoff speed that gets ratcheted up a little bit more. Right now, this dude has maybe a quarter of experience. Practice is nothing. That has nothing to do with the speed of the game. In practice, there's no way, I don't feel like you can simulate what's going to happen, the speed of what's happening in a game in practice, especially not safely. Sorry, I just saw something on TV. Like, I saw Swaggy P catch an alley-oop off of a punt just now, and I was wondering if it was that kid from the Raiders, Marquez King, but I didn't see it right. I guess it's a commercial for the new Madden situation, maybe. But anyway, now getting to the concept of speed. Back in the day, one of my homeboys made it to the league, and I was talking to him about this, and he kind of broke it down to me this way. He was a fast guy. He was a corner. Ran like 4.3. So he was a fast guy himself, even though he came from a small school, which was our school, Tennessee Tech. And what he said to me was like, Mike, like people categorize it as speed. People use the word and the term speed, but really that's not what they're talking about. It's the NFL. All these cats are fast as hell, but in actuality, what the term is referencing, if I can get it out, is reaction time. Like, dudes study so much and dudes pick up on tendencies so much and so quickly that the reaction time, and dudes are so technically sound where there are very, very little wasted steps or wasted motion. So the reaction time is like a blink of an eye. So as this is why they talk about quarterbacks like Byron Leftwich or Tim Tebow with these elongated releases, because that couple of fractions of a second is all a good DB needs to make a break on the football. This is why those things matter. The higher you get in I don't want to say in leagues, but the higher you progress in your career as a football player. Leonard Fournette is going to learn that. He's going to learn that. He's going to learn that 3-point something yards a carry ain't the move. Like, it's not really the time to come back and say, oh, yeah, man, everything is like hella slow, man. Like, I thought it was going to be much faster than this. Like, dude, it was 9 yards. It was 9 carries for 31 yards. That's not, like, to put it in context, Ezekiel Elliott, I think he was ripping them off at 5.1 last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Ezekiel Elliott was like, yeah, man, it's hella slow. Like, I thought it was going to be mad fast. You'd be like, well, yeah, the proof is in the pudding. Now, again, I'm going to calm myself down as well because it is just one game. It's not even one whole game. It's one portion of a game. And with a guy who's built the way Leonard Fournette is built, you can see him being the kind of guy who can be 9 for 31, and then by the fourth quarter, all those 3-point whatever yards turn into 5-point whatever yards. Because, I mean, let's keep it real. Like, not too many dudes is going to want to keep on tackling that dude over and over and over again. Like, let's take into consideration his health and things of that nature, because he was banged up a little bit last year at LSU. But with all things being left equal, and he stays healthy, yeah, he could be one of those guys who starts the game off like, pound, and next thing you know, he's like ripping off big runs because it's a little bit more difficult to tackle this dude when you're tired and it's the fourth quarter and he's getting the football with them having a lead. Now, the odds of Blake Bortles and that Jacksonville squad having a lead that late, well, that is something else to be discussed at a different time and day. We'll see how that pans out as we get through the season. But again, just everybody calm down. It's the preseason. I know y'all happy that football is back and whatever. You get to see these dudes out here doing their thing, but just calm down. Or not, because the other thing that it does for me is it makes me happy when I get to see all your hopes and dreams burn and flail and turn to ash right before your face because you thought the preseason was some sort of precursor to what your team was going to be able to do. Not so much. Like here in Atlanta, Matt Ryan, I think yesterday went 5 for 5 on the first draft. Devontae Freeman, the newly signed Devontae Freeman, got in the end zone. Everything looked good. No Julio Jones. Mohamed Sanu, great one-handed catch. Even Matt Schaub looked kind of crisp as the backup, so it looks like he got a pretty decent backup. But I'm still not all that sold on this Steve Sarkisian thing, man. Like, people are going to be drunk off what they drank last year. And once that high wears off, and Steve Sarkisian realizes you're not at USC, baby. You're not at Alabama. You were barely at Alabama, but you're not at Alabama. This is the league, man, and dudes get paid a lot of money to expose tendencies. And I heard the broadcasters yesterday talking about how this year Steve Sarkisian is going to add a lot of pre-snap motions and things like that in order to throw defenses off. Like, look, cuz, what you mean? You got Julio Jones, you got Tevin Coleman, you got Devontae Freeman and Matt Ryan. Who you trying to, like, you ain't got to fool nobody. You ain't got to fool nobody. This is like Mariano Rivera. He throws the cutter. That's what he throws. Or like that kid from the Reds, that Cuban kid that throws like 109 miles an hour. He throws gas. Or the kid that was closing for the Cubs last year. He throws gas. You know what I mean? Ain't no fooling nobody. Just hit your spots. Do what you do. So I'm gonna be very very interested to see how that whole thing plays out and that whole dynamic plays out. And then again, watch the people here in my fair city of Atlanta just turn on Steve Sarkisian's drunk ass, because that's how they do. Boy, that's like that whole Kyle Shanahan thing was not literally, but it was a roller coaster. They hated him. Roddy White got cut. They hated him more. Next thing you know, the offense is breaking records. Hell yeah, Kyle Shanahan, boy. And I was telling people, he's out of here. I was talking to the beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, my man, D'Orlando Ledbetter. And I was like, look, man, this dude's gone. Like, this got to be the year. If the Falcons going to do it, it needs to be done this year, because this dude's last name is Shanahan. People feel like already he's got head coach written all over him, and it has been for a while. So with the success of this team this year, he's not being here. D'Orlando told me, well, I don't think he's just going to take any job. Well, he did. That 49ers job ain't illustrious, outside the fact that he's got like hella control. Him and John Lynch are going to run the thing. Well, he's pretty much going to run it, because John Lynch ain't never done no personnel stuff before. So he's pretty much got full control of the organization. So that probably made it more attractive. But as far as an on-field product, please, hell no. But he's out of here. And now what you're going to try to do is, if you're a Falcons fan, hopefully duplicate it. You want to be better, but you definitely don't want to be worse. You don't want to have that Super Bowl hangover that everyone's talking about. And quite frankly, I kind of see it coming. I kind of, I don't do predictions on my show, but it just feels like it's kind of inevitable. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show, coming at you live right now on Spreaker.com. I'm also on the Spreaker app. Download that situation for your mobile app, whether you got a tablet or whatever, your cell phone. It's available for your iPhone, your Android, whatever you got, man. Also, you can hear me live on the TuneIn app. And if you go to my website, onemicwithbigmike.com, I should be playing there as well. No Facebook Live today. All week long, the Facebook Live situation has been screwing me royally. Or not, I'm not going to blame it on Facebook. It's the program I use to broadcast, but it hasn't been working properly. So I'm not going to blame it on that. Also, make sure you guys check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like my Facebook page, man, at One Mic with Big Mike. Spell the numeral 1, MICWITHBIG. MIKE. You can also text the show if you so desire at 404-902-8104 or jump inside my live and interactive chat room. On to the NBA. The NBA released a portion of its schedule today. All the goodies. Shout out to them for doing that too. The NBA schedule is so long. It's not like the NFL. So releasing the entire schedule and having people kind of trying to dig through it themselves. That's kind of like an exercise in futility. The way they did it, just give me the goods, man. October 17th is when everything kicks off. A doubleheader, the Celtics at the Cavs. Yup, sign me up. Get to see Gordon Hayward. Maybe LeBron and Kyrie, which would be awkward. Like at that point, things now are just so awkward. Story came out yesterday. Kyrie went days during the playoffs without talking to anybody, which to me, because of the type of dude I am, I could do that in my sleep. You know what I mean? I've gone to work before and not talked to nobody for a couple of days and, whatever. I don't have to talk to you. Well, I mean, if it's about work, I will. But we don't have to have no conversation. We have to be friends. I'm here to get my check, cuz. So I don't really, I guess the whole we're all brothers and these are my brothers in this situation. But I'm assuming that if you, I hadn't talked to my sister all week, this week. I need to, but I haven't. I ain't mad at her or nothing. We just haven't touched bases. You know what I mean? Well, we don't see each other every day either, or often. But on the phone or text, I haven't reached out to her, or vice versa. But anyway, I don't really see that be that big of an issue. But I guess in the realm of everything else that's happening with the trade demand and all this kind of stuff, it's something to talk about. You also get the brand new look. Houston Rockets, Chris Paul, James Harden, and possibly Carmelo Anthony taking on the Golden State Warriors that same night. Oh, here's the thing, too. A lot of you MFers who go to sleep early because you got to get up in the morning for your gig, you might have to start, if you basketball fans, you might have to start taking after-work naps or whatnot, because all the good games, outside of this particular situation here, because that Celtics-Cavs thing, it's going to be pretty lit. But the good games, the real good games, yeah, they're coming on at 10:30 because they're coming on West Coast time. You feel me? So this situation with Chris Paul, James Harden, and like I said, possible Carmelo Anthony, because that whole thing has kind of re-arisen. Let's go with that. Has re-arisen. Patent pending, if that's not a word. I'm going ahead and patent that. I'm so interested in that team, because I want to see how it works. I think there'll be enough shots to go around because Mike D'Antoni is F your defense. Let's just get buckets. Let's get a huge amount of buckets. Pat Beverly's going, so they don't really have that defensive intimidator or annoyer or nuisance or whatever you categorize him as. But if you bring in a Chris Paul, you upgrade. And he's not a bad defender either. I think he ends up on the shelf a little bit more often than a guy like Pat Beverly with injuries and whatnot. But he's Chris Paul. He's one of the best point guards. And with the advanced analytics, I saw this a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. He's the second best guard to Michael Jordan ever to play the game. I don't know how many people know that, advanced analytics wise. I got to preface it by saying that. You also have, during that opening week, the Knicks, either with Carmelo or without Carmelo, Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. Shout out to Tim Hardaway Jr., man. Came down to Atlanta, got that money, got that weight up so he can get that money from the Knicks. They're going to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Paul George is in the building now. Is Victor Oladipo still there, or did they get rid of Oladipo for Paul George? I don't remember. I don't know what that roster looks like right now, but I do know, of course, the MVP, Mr. Triple Double, Russ Westbrook is there, and Paul George is joining them. Crazy story today that people are saying that the Warriors may be going after Paul George next year. God, like I ain't even mad at that, dude. Like if I gotta stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching basketball, yeah, I'd be all right watching 5 all-stars on one team play against everybody else and getting busy. And then the other good part about that is if something like that were to happen, yeah, the games would be over long before then. I can go to bed knowing that they beating the hell out of somebody by 28 points going into the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm kind of cool with that. Whatever. You also, that same week, the Lakers, everybody's favorite son, Lonzo Ball, taking on the Clippers, the new Clippers, who I read today, Kyrie might be angling to get his ass to the Clippers to replace Chris Paul. He really wants out of Cleveland, man, and they're gonna try to squeeze this thing. The Cavs, try to squeeze this thing for the best deal that they can. And it sounds to me like he's giving them options. The Knicks, the Spurs, I've heard. Where else did I hear? The Heat with Pat Riley them, because your man Dion Waiters is like, hold on, dude, I'm the alpha down here. I feel you, dog. You know what I mean? He just got money, so, whatever. Lost a little weight or whatnot, so Dion Waiters feeling himself. Played pretty well last year as well. But, Kyrie's a different monster. You know what I mean? He's not Dion Waiters. Let's say that. He's a different beast than a guy like Dion Waiters. What else do we have here? The Cavaliers and the Warriors on Christmas Day. I think this is what this is. Oh, we got the Knicks and the 76ers first. So we get to see our first look at Ben Simmons and the kid they drafted this year. And, of course, the process, I guess he'll be back. Joel Embiid, he'll be back to start off his annual, 20 or 30 game season that he's been playing here lately. The Rockets will play the Oklahoma City Thunder on that day as well. The annual Cavs and Warriors game, of course, that'll happen. And then you get to see the Timberwolves and all their new star power. Who's up there now? Is Jeff Teague up there with them now? Jeff Teague is up in that joint? Or is it George Hill? Who is up there playing point guard for them now? Because Ricky Rubio is gone. Of course, they got the big cat. They got Jimmy Butler is up in that joint now, as well as Andrew Wiggins. So that squad with Tom Thibodeau, it's like, now, man, Pistol, get off the pot, homie. Let's get it popping. And they'll take on the Lakers on October 18th. Again, the 76ers. Markelle Fultz is the kid I was just thinking about. They're going to take on the Wizards. What else do we have here? We got the Cavs and the Bucks a couple days after that. I don't know if Jabari Parker will be back by then, but of course you got the Greek Freak, my man Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then the Warriors and the Pelicans. I've seen some reports on some trade rumors for Anthony Davis. He says he's heard him or whatnot, but he's ignoring them. Boogie's still out there. Boogie said he lost a bunch of weight. He's trying to get it popping this year because he's got some money to get in the offseason. I think they put their hats in the ring for Carmelo as well, but Carmelo said he's not waiving that no trade clause for the Pelicans, which, I guess, man, if you're going to go west, you got to go. You got to go and join up with some bosses like that James Harden, Chris Paul situation. If you're going to go, you can't just go to the west and join the freaking, the Sacramento Kings. You can't pull that move. There's no upward mobility in that situation. Speaking of the Sacramento Kings and upward getting higher, my man Zebo got caught up in something out there in LA. I don't know what it is. I'll say this too. Again, since no one learned anything from the Lucky Whitehead situation, like, you dudes and girls that are fans of sports are so quick to just jump on somebody was arrested, so they must have done something wrong. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, Zach Randolph got caught up in some sort of police raid type situation on what seems to be a block party out in L.A. He's with the Sacramento Kings now. He was arrested on Wednesday night for possession of marijuana with the intent to sell. I don't think Zach Randolph's the weed man. Zach Randolph may have been the guy who brought the weed to the party, because as a party you need a substantial amount of weed. You can't just like show up with a blunt like, yep, let's party, y'all. Nah, he showed up with and you can't be Zach Randolph, the dude with the brand new 2-year $24 million contract. He probably showed up with a brick. You know what I mean? My man's like dealing weed now on the side of his NBA career. How old is Zach Randolph? 36 years old? Come on, man. A little bit late to get in that game, especially with all the money that's flying around the league. Like, you don't need it. Good throw and catch. Good stuff. The LAPD officers were called to a Nickerson Gardens area in LA around 10 p.m. and they came across a group blocking the street. That's what you do for a block party, right? You block off the street and you just party and get your thing on. They were drinking alcohol, smoking weed, playing loud music. After the cops tried to disperse the crowd, this article says things got lit. Shout to Bro Bible, man. The police report indicates that 3 people were seen grabbing their waistbands and running. That just means they might be trying to hold their pants. You know, these kids, man, they sag way too deep to be doing dirt. Like, that's probably my only my only objection. I used the wrong word. To the whole way these cats wear their pants. Y'all supposed to be out here doing dirt, but when people do dirt, sometimes you got to get the hell on. And when you need to get the hell on, the last thing you need to be doing is trying to like hold your pants up and getting the hell on at the same time. So they talking about these dudes was running and holding their waistbands. Probably. Anyway, that prompted the cops to run after them. The 3 people were eventually caught and arrested, while the remainder of the party became unruly. 6 cop cars were vandalized. Tires were slashed and windows were busted. The cops recovered 2 guns, drugs. Of course, you can't have one without the other. A significant amount of cash. 2 vehicles were impounded. It's unclear if any of the items belonged to Randolph. Apparently, my man walked out of the joint laughing at the situation, and then his attorneys, whatever, they said the charges are false and misleading, and we're looking at all options to resolve this matter. Meaning, just somebody got to take this charge, man. I mean, at the end of the day, somebody got to take this charge real quick, plea it down, from this whole intent to sell situation to just possession, and then, take the charge, break them off with a couple dollars and move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zach Randolph don't need to be holding no damn intent to sell charge on no weed, especially in California. Like, those 2 things don't need to happen, and they don't need to happen to that dude. There's somebody at that party that can afford to go ahead and just, take that hit real quick, if there is a hit to be taken, and just, move on from the situation. It's going to be, you know what, too? I'm going to say this. It's going to be interesting to see how the NBA and Adam Silver actually handle this. You know what I mean? Because their players got a lot more power. Their union has a lot more power than the NFL. So things don't usually go down in the heavy-handed way. Just because you found yourself in a situation, the NBA isn't always as likely as the NFL to treat you as a guilty party in the matter. So, but it's going to be interesting because Adam Silver did have some things to say about what I talked about on Wednesday, and I'll get to it after the break. As far as them spacing out games and eliminating back-to-backs and things like that, the stuff that I was talking about on Wednesday, to try to encourage cats not to take those rest games or not use the back-to-backs or the 4 games in 5 nights as excuses to sit out, especially primetime games and the Saturday night games and things of that nature. But then, after I said that there was going to be no way that the NBA could try to punish dudes for that, even if they did do it, guess what your man did? I'll talk about it after the break. It's the final break here on a Friday. One Mic with Big Mike Show, Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in to OneMicWithBigMike.com. Y'all make sure y'all sign up for your free Spreaker account so that you get an alert. Every time the show goes live, you'll get an alert letting you know that it's time, time to rock and roll, time to get things popping. I'll be right back.
I am
have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse.
Let's go, guys.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Sound means it's Friday, man. Getting ready for the weekend. You know what I just realized? I'm breaking earlier than I should. Because what I've started doing since I've been back is I do like a 5-minute intro to the show. I don't do it, but there's like a 5-minute lead into the show, kind of just letting people know that the show is coming on in 5 minutes, which means the show starts at 7, but the timer that I'm looking at, it is not a timer with the time on it. It's a time with, just like counting down or counting up. So essentially, I should have probably been breaking about 3 minutes from now. And then when the show should end at 5 minutes after, or is it 5 minutes before? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Again, that's that public school education coming full circle right quick. I can't find the article that I was going to read from or tell you guys about from the NBA as far as what they're trying to do with this situation with the rest. Because on Wednesday I told you guys that there's no way in hell that even if the players wanted to rest, that Adam Silver or anybody in the NBA could do anything about it. But apparently they think they can. So Adam Silver's proposing certain, I guess, like punishments for players who still determine that they're going to rest without being injured. And I'm like, bruh, you just told them what to do. Man, my hamstring tight, because there's no way you're going to tell somebody they have to play. Like LeBron show up at shoot around and be like, oh man, my big toe, or, my knee soreness or whatever, my back is tight, coach. He ain't going to play. That's all that's going to happen at that point. They're just going to be like, let me just make up the quickest thing I can do that allow me to not play in this game, but play in the next one. Something that's not long-term, like tightness or soreness. Use those buzzwords that we always hear anyway that'll allow them to sit out without just saying it's rest. It's time to just LIG that. And I know what it is, man. And I talked about it on Wednesday, right? The league wants to get into a position where they can help fans put more pressure on the players to do what they want them to do. And like really the NBA fans are like, screw you. The NBA players like, screw y'all. You want to know why? Because as fans, you're the ones that keep perpetuating this notion of the NBA regular season doesn't matter. You keep perpetuating this thing of it's all about the rings. Get rings, get rings, get rings. So now that these players are saying, well, if the only thing that matters as it relates to my legacy is rings, that's all I'm playing for. I'm not playing for the 82. I'm playing for the season after the season. Is what I'm doing. I'm resting for that because I'm not going to rest during the playoffs. I'm going to get it all during these 82. I'm going to pick the ones I want to sit out, and I'm going to do it now. And it's because of the environment that fans and social media has placed around these players. I think it's stupid. I love the NBA regular season. I love watching dudes do what they do at the highest level. I don't think it's meaningless. This is why it's so opposite to college basketball, because that is definitely not the highest level of basketball, which makes their regular season irrelevant. And for the most part, the postseason is too. But we get caught up in Cinderellas and buzzer beaters and blah 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 and blah 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 upsets and all this kind of craziness. We get caught up in the March Madness situation, but the basketball still isn't good. You know what I mean? It's still not something that you want to write home about in college basketball. NBA, different story. Especially the way they make a conscious effort to promote the best. Like, I don't ever have to worry about this garbage that the NFL does, where you have to watch on Thursday night. You have to watch the freaking Jaguars. No, the NBA don't make us watch Sacramento. They don't do that to us. They give us as much LeBron and as much Steph as we can get. I mean, they still kind of force the Knicks down our throats, which is bull crap. I will say that. Like, if I turn on my TV on Sunday and see the Knicks, it's a bad day. And like this year, if my home team, if I had to turn on any national telecast and see the Hawks on, I'm going to be pissed, because the Hawks are going to be bad this year. It's going to be fundamentally bad basketball. It's going to be played here in Atlanta. And I don't want to see that. I mean, I'll watch it on the local channel, but I don't want to watch that on ESPN. I don't do that on TNT. No. Now, the problem is, I guess, I'll go ahead and say this for Falcons fans, or not Falcons, for Hawks fans. And when the Hawks were good, they didn't give them no shine on these channels, man. Not nearly enough, because apparently people can't appreciate just good basketball without star power. When the Hawks were playing good basketball a couple years ago, I felt like the world should have been able to see that. But now, this thing they about to put on the court this year with Torian Prince and Dennis Schroeder and this kid from I'm all right. I'm good, man. I'm good. 404-902-8104. You can still get in on my text line or jump inside this live interactive chat room, if you will. Just go to Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, or my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. You'll see a streaming player that you're listening to me on. Click on that little thought bubble icon. It'll get you up in this joint. And also, man, don't forget the onemicwithbigmike.com. The One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League is popping. Sign up, or to sign up, send me an email to mike@onemicwithbigmike.com, or go to my website, send it from the contact page. Just put fantasy football in the subject line, and I'll shoot you the what is it called? The link to the invite that allow you to sign up or whatnot, and you can be right up in the building. I'm gonna try to get some giveaways for you sea suckers as well, man. So you guys just don't think you're playing for fun. I got to incentivize you guys to join my league, apparently. So we're gonna get that together. I got some stuff here that I can put together for y'all as well. Let's see what else we got here before we get out of here. I got a couple of things. My man KD's telling y'all to get out of his damn pockets, and I stand behind that notion, man. Like, I don't believe that a man should talk about another man's money. I'm just old school that way. And the reason that this has become a point of contention is because, as you know, or may not know, I'll tell you, KD gave up the proverbial hometown discount, although he's not from San Francisco or the Bay Area, to the team that he currently plays for, the Golden State Warriors. He gave him a little bit of a discount. And I say little bit because I deal with these kind of numbers every day. I don't. To be able to, for guys to be able to stay together with the team that he's on. And here's the thing I'll say about that. First of all, let me tell you what the discount was. He took less money. What was it? It's here somewhere. Like $6.8 million less than people expected, and then $9.5 million less than the maximum. So somewhere around between, $7 and $10 million. That's nothing to sneeze at. But, what price do you put on your happiness? I guess is the question that then needs to be asked. What price do you put on your happiness? And it was something that I said early on in the game when people was giving him all this crap for not playing in Oklahoma City anymore. And because of the fact that they were on the brink of eliminating the Warriors the year before he joined the team, people had their panties in a bunch. But my perspective on it was that it didn't seem like it was fun. It seemed like it was work. You know what I mean? And at a certain point, when you've given all that you can and the best that you have still isn't good enough, maybe it's time for a change. And maybe it's time to get back to finding a way to have fun playing basketball instead of it being this grind, this work. Because like guys like Russell Westbrook don't have no problem grinding. He never really looks like he's having fun playing. He just looks angry, and I'm with it. I'm cool. I love watching that dude play. I love his game. But KD, he doesn't seem like he's built that way. He want to have fun playing basketball, and last year it seemed fun to him. I don't think anyone can deny the optics of that. It seemed fun. And for a dude who's playing in a league where cats are walking away with $200 million, $10 million to him isn't $10 million. It's, it's whatever. If that's what it's going to take, as he put in this article, to get not Harrison Barnes, to get Sean Livingston back on the squad, to have Andre Iguodala back on the squad, guys that apparently he gets along with and likes playing with, and are very integral parts of that winning formula out there at Golden State. I can't fault him for that. The one negative, I guess, downside in that is because he is a part of a union, and it sets a crazy precedent for guys who aren't KD. Because now KD took $10 million less. If you're thinking of a good player that's not necessarily a great player, if you're Andrew Wiggins, guy who's up for a max deal, if you're Andrew Wiggins and you go in there saying I want a max deal, now you have front office people, owners, or whoever coming at you with, wait a minute, I mean, you're Andrew Wiggins, you're not Kevin Durant, you don't have MVPs, you can't give us a discount on this. He did it. So then you have that situation going on with other players, and I can see where they would have their, kind of have their feathers ruffled a little bit from the thoughts of that happening. The other thing is this. With the NBA, there's a such thing as luxury tax. Like, you don't really have to take a discount. You can just put it back on the team and say, if you want this to stay together, do like Dan Gilbert. I was about to say Gan Dilbert. Do like Dan Gilbert. Get your ass in the luxury tax game. How much is it worth to you to win? It shouldn't. And the union, the players are saying, yeah, it shouldn't be on the players to help the owners. These millionaire players helping out these billionaire owners. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. But it's Kevin Durant. It's his money. He do what he want to do with it. And he said as much. In an interview speaking with Anthony Slater of The Athletic, he says, well, I'm a smart guy. This is a quote. And I want to keep this thing going. And looking at Andre and Sean and Steph, they all should make the most money that they can make and get what they deserve, because they were all underpaid, and I knew at some point they'd want to get what they deserve. So I just took a step back and let the chips fall where they may. Then I took it in my hands. Sorry, I wanted to keep the team together. I thought I was going to help the ownership bring all the guys back, and on top of that, it's my money. It's my decision. I can do what the hell I want with it. No true statement has been made, man. No true statement has been made. But again, part of what the NBA has going for it is the strength of its league. The strength of its union. And the union is made up of its players. And once you have guys like descending and kind of siding with what's considered the other side, the owners are considered the other side. Once you do that, I can definitely see where there would be a little bit of a like, hold on, homie, hold on, my guy. You know what I mean? We out here, we're in the business not just of playing basketball. We're in the business of getting hella money. You know what I mean? It's reported that Kevin Durant saved the Warriors. He saved them $25 million in luxury tax money. Now, he still can opt out after next year, and he can hit him over the head next year. But I mean, we'll all have to just see how that turns out, because you set what's known as a precedent now, that if we need to do some things outside of you, we can just come to you and be like, hey man, how about taking another $10 million cut? That's why that whole thing is kind of sprout up about Paul George, because you say to yourself, there's no way in hell the Warriors can afford Steph, Paul George. Draymond got 85 either last year or the year before that. I think Clay is coming up, which if Paul George gets in the building, you got to think like maybe Clay is the odd man out. KD comes up as well. But people now with KD saying I'm taking less money, it's like, well, shoot, if he gonna keep taking less money, how we just gonna eliminate the Warriors from the Paul George sweepstakes? That's the other thing that comes out of doing something like that. Again, you set a precedent, so now it's like the options are open. Like any option is open. You know, you're looking at a team with Draymond and KD and Steph and Paul George and like whoever else the fifth dude would be. Wouldn't matter. They can just call me and pay me like $20 an hour. And I'm there. I mean, what else do I have? Because I'm gonna get out of here in a couple minutes. I talked about Zach Randolph, my man Zebo. Oh, shout out to LeBron. We talk about being in the business of getting money. Here's where like LeBron is he's such a conflicting figure to me, because like it's certain things I talked about on Wednesday, the subtweeting and like that catty behavior, you know, that what do they call it? Passive aggressive thing that LeBron does that I just can't vibe with. But then also the respect that I have for that dude. Not only as a basketball player, but all the stuff that he does off the court. He's got a comedy, a sneakerhead comedy that's in development with HBO. And if you guys know anything about HBO, they don't put out no trash, man. You know what I'm saying? He's already got the Survivor's Remorse situation on Starz, which I think is an awesome show. I thought it was going to go down and be trash when they killed off Mike Epps, but it didn't. It stayed funny. It stayed up to date and pertinent. Everything, you know, is good, man. Shout out to Sheena Arnold and I don't know the kid's name that plays the kid that plays Reggie. He was a child star. I can't remember his name. And the kid that plays the basketball star. But and then the sister, the lesbian sister. Everything just works on that show, man. And it's pretty awesome. He had the game show on NBC, The Wall. He developed that, and now he's got this sneakerhead comedy supposed to be that he's developing with HBO, man. So shout out to LeBron, man. The $1 billion shoe deal. That dude is like, I don't know, man. Like there are people who hate LeBron and call people who like LeBron or Bron sexuals and things of that nature, man. This dude he's the real deal, man. He is transcendent in so many different areas, man. And for a young black dude to be, you know, doing the things he does, and then he's one of the guys who he has his moments when, you know, political thing or not political. I hate when people say that. Mix the two things up. When social issues come to the forefront, he's a guy who at times has been known to, you know, speak his mind and speak his piece on them. So, you know, at the very end of the day, not liking something and disrespecting someone is two different things. I don't like some of the things that he does, but I definitely respect the person who he portrays himself to be. Two more things and I'm going, man. The first thing, let's talk about this ridiculousness. The NCAA, once again, they have started they have a new sexual violence policy. That's weird to me. Those words don't seem to go together. That doesn't seem like something that should be a thing, but it is. And leave it up to the NCAA. Yeah, man, that's what we'll do. We'll have a sexual violence policy. It's like, how about make it one line? Don't do it. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? They announced on yesterday, the creation of this new policy to educate athletes, coaches, and administrators about sexual violence prevention. It seems pretty cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she doesn't want you to, then don't. If she's passed out, don't care how drunk she is, how about you don't? You know what I mean? If she's too drunk to tell you yes or no, how about you don't? You know what I mean? Just to be on the safe side. You just don't. You know, I'm not the dude that's like, I saw this one lady on TV that said, fellas, you need to get an emphatic yes. That means no one would ever get their pecker wet. She was like, you have to get like jumping up and down. Yes, I want to from a girl. Ooh, yeah, that's a steep mountain to climb, boy. Yeah, we've been there before. I'm 40 years old now, but yeah, those things don't happen they don't happen that way. Not in my lifetime. I haven't seen that happen. Maybe it's a new thing, but not for the kid. And I've had my share of encounters. The athletic departments must also be knowledgeable on the subject and distribute information about the related policies to student athletes. This sounds like a real like CYA type of situation. You know, this is the way we can cover our ass. You know, we gave out the pamphlets, and Marquand still decided to find himself in a room with a drunk girl who's now saying he sexually assaulted her. We gave him everything he needed, all the information. We had the class. He took the class. Look, he signed off on it. Yeah, just don't, man. Like, come on, man. Like, this thing, it's really getting out of control, man. And you know what I mean? For people who got like daughters and they sending them off to college and whatnot, it's a scary situation, man. You know what I mean? Especially you send your daughters off, and we in America, man, like college is not just college anymore. It's not college for education. It's now become this. They turn colleges into these country clubs, and part of the rite of passage and going to college is now getting as crap face drunk as you possibly can be, and like people can say I'm victim shaming or victim blaming or whatever you want to call it, but I'll still go back to something that like protect yourself, man. Like as a female, man, don't rely on somebody else to protect you, man. And when I say that, I mean I'm saying that to say just because the drinks are free, you don't have to drink all of them, man. I ain't talking about knowing your limits and all that, because everybody think they know their limits. Like, come on, man. Fall down, sloppy drunk and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying because you deserve something to happen to you. What I'm saying is that you put yourself in a position where you can't protect yourself, man. Like one of the craziest, stupidest things, and I've mentioned this many times on the show before, that situation in Vanderbilt, where that girl didn't even know she got raped. She found out she got raped by watching herself being raped on a videotape. She was that out of it. It's like, come on, man. That's heartbreaking. That is as disturbing as disturbing gets. And the things, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. The things, it wasn't just like, you know, someone having sex with this girl, you know, unbeknownst to her. There were other things that were going on too, like some real like ratchet stuff. Like, what the hell part of the game is that? You can look it up and read it for yourself and whatever. But I just feel like this is crazy, stupid. It kind of stems from all the stuff that was going on at Baylor. Apparently now the NCAA is going to force Baylor, or a court is going to force Baylor to release all of the alleged or the sexual assault evidence, so everyone can know how much of a crappy, freaking hypocritical institution Baylor University is. They stand on the fact that they're like the second oldest or either the oldest Baptist Christian university in the country. Meanwhile, you send your daughter there, they're so likely to get raped or sexual assaulted, and then it be covered up in the name of having a good football program. Yeah, enjoy, man. That whole thing should have been shut down, but you can't. The monster is too big. The money is too big, so no one cares. That they're willing to sacrifice your daughters or whatever in order to keep athletics at the forefront of this private Christian Christian university. Get the hell out of here, man. All right, man. Last thing here. I think this is the last thing. Maybe. Is it? Hold on. Yeah, last thing here. Your man, the captain, Derek Jeter, finally, well, not finally, or maybe by now, because it is Friday, will become an owner. One of the owners of the Miami Marlins. I know you guys remember, I don't know if you guys remember, a couple months ago, he was in a group with Jeb Bush. Yeah, that Jeb Bush, former presidential candidate, Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush, the only Bush that couldn't win. And he couldn't beat a buffoon. I was gonna say an orange baboon, but my words got caught. Baboon and buffoon and buffoon. They had a group they were trying to buy the Miami Marlins from Jeffrey Lurie, whatever his name is, or is that dude that just got fired from CNN? What did he tweet? He tweeted something about Hitler or something. Is that what that was? Heil something? I don't know what those words are. I didn't even read the article because the dude that got fired, he's an idiot anyway. So it was like, fine with it, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm kind of good. What was I talking about? Oh, Derek Jeter. So he and some New York businessman, Lurie is his name, Jeffrey Lurie. They're agreeing to sell the team for $1.2 billion. I think he only bought it for a couple million, like $13-14 million, if I'm not mistaken. The guy's name is Bruce Sherman. He's the principal investor. And, of course, Derek Jeter is the name behind it. But Derek Jeter, unlike Magic Johnson with the Dodgers, apparently he's going to run the business and baseball sides of the organization. So Derek Jeter's in, man. He's in all the way on this. He's going to contribute $25 million of his own money. That's that baseball money, boy. You come out of baseball, you set up pretty nice to where this dude can just throw in $25 million. And that ain't even, that's just the 0.2 of the, no. $1.2 billion is $200 million. So that's not even the 0.2. That is my God. You know how much money that is? That's $1,200 million. Shout out to Derek Jeter, man. Shout out to all these cats with this money, man. Now they're buying a lemon. They're buying a crap show. The Marlins are expected to lose more than $60 million just this season. The revenues are among the lowest in Major League Baseball, and their $115 million payroll is the largest in franchise history. So you can see where those two things don't really match. Your revenues suck, but you're paying out more money than you've ever paid out, ever, to players. Guaranteed baseball contracts, too, by the way. And also, to add a little bit of salt to the wound, yeah, their TV contract sucks as well. It pays them the lowest of any team in Major League Baseball. And also, to put some vinegar with that salt in that wound, their attendance down there in Miami, it ranks among the bottom 5 in Major League Baseball. So there's that. And for that, my friends, you get all that for a measly $1.2 billion. Like if that crap show is worth $1.2 billion, the Yankees must be priceless. Because what did the Dodgers went for $2 billion when my man was getting divorced and didn't want his wife to get any of it or whatever it was? They went for $2 billion. The Yankees must be priceless. There must be no price tag that you could put on like a Hope Diamond or something for the Yankees. Good for them, man. Money make the world go around, man. You know, we find it out more and more every day. Every time this idiot in the White House decides that he want to blast his mouth off about something or say something stupid and point out that he understands nothing about the job that he's in. Nothing at all. Look what I just did. Look at what I just did. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. Let's wrap this puppy up, man, and get into this weekend. I got grass to cut this weekend because the damn rain is, golly, it's just got this grass growing so fast. All right, a couple little house cleaning things. Once again, I'm going to remind y'all, the OneMikeWithBigMike.com, One Mike with Big Mike Fantasy Football League is there for you and yours, ladies and gentlemen. Not boys and girls, just ladies and gentlemen. Send me an email to Mike at OneMikeWithBigMike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line, please. I'll send you a link. You can also do so from my website. The contact page, same deal. Just put fantasy football in the subject line. If you miss any of tonight's show or any show this week or any show previously for the last, I don't know, going on 2 years now that I've done the show, you can catch any episode I've ever done on demand at Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, One Mike with Big Mike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube. I got to do better on, getting my YouTube page situated and cool, but subscribe to the YouTube page so you'll be ready when I do. Subscribe to my iTunes, follow me on TuneIn and iHeartRadio and Stitcher and all those places, Google Play as well. Like my Facebook page, OneMikeWithBigMike.com. Follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. Same thing, at One Mike with Big Mike. And until Monday, man, y'all be safe. Have fun out there this weekend. Not too much, though. Make sure you're able to come back on Monday if the world is still standing. I'll see you guys back here, you guys and girls back here on Monday. And remember, all you need is one mic.